Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn a new chapter, life processes. So before going into this chapter, we are going to learn the overview of what we are going to learn in this chapter, the complete overview of this chapter. In this overview, first we are going to start with this introduction of this chapter, and then what are life processes. So we are going to learn about the definition of what is life processes and what are the important topics which comes under life processes. And then we'll be learning on nutrition. When we talk about nutrition, there are two modes of nutrition we're going to learn. One is autotrophic, another is heterotrophic. Nutrition in plants and nutrition in amoeba, nutrition in human beings. So as we know that autotrophic are those which can produce their own food, right? So nutrition in plants, and the nutrition in human beings, that means it comes under heterotrophic nutrition. Then respiration, both plants and as well as human beings, animals, all respire. So we are going to see how plants respire and how human beings are respire. Then transportation of there are various materials which is transported in our body, even blood transported all around our body, and the transportation of food particles, waste materials, right? So everything we'll be learning on this chapter. So both plants as well as animals, we're going to learn on transportation. Then the last is excretion, how plants even plants also excrete, and also human beings, how we excrete. So these are the topics mainly we are going to concentrate on that, and there are lots of subtopics also along with that, so that also we'll be learning on this. So first we'll start on introduction of this chapter. Introduction, you can look at these pictures. It talks about both living and non-living things: cow, camel, elephant, a rabbit, and a family. So all are living. And you see chair, car, table lamp, or the table, you can see these are non-living things, right? We know that. So how we classify them into living or non-living things? We see that even a cow is chewing a cud, or a group of people are sitting here. So we know these things are living beings, and also we know that these things are non-living things. So what happens when a cow or a man were asleep? Even when they are sleeping, we would say that still they are alive. But how did you know that? We can see them breathing, and also we know that they are still alive. Okay, if these are breathing, and we know that when we breathe, our body also has some movement. And how we know that plants are also breathing? And how do we know that plants are all alive? Okay, we can see them, they are green in color. But what about the plants that have leaves of colors other than green color? Okay, the other thing is the plants grow. We can see there is a movement in their growth. So in other words, we tend to think of some sort of movement. Okay, that is the main thing we are going to talk about. The most important criteria to decide whether something is alive is movement. So that means there should be something, movement. All living things move without the help of any external help. Some movements are easily visible, like the movement of body parts. Some movements are not easily visible, like molecular movements. The molecular movements in cells and tissues is necessary for all life processes. We can see that we are moving from one place to another, so we can say that okay, we are moving. Even the mosquito is moving from one place to another. But what is actually present inside our body? There are some molecule or particles which are all moving inside our body, which we could not see, invisible things, and that are very important, necessary for all life processes. Okay, the next thing, so we will see what is life processes. Okay, life processes, if you see the definition of life processes, we can say that the basic function performed by living organisms for their survival and body maintenance are called life processes. Basic functions, we can see what are the basic functions which is present in our body. Let's say some example. Nutrition. Okay, nutritions are very important for us. What is nutrition? Why we need nutrition? It is the process of taking food by an organism and its utilization by the body for life processes. If there is no food, no nutrition. If there is no nutrition, no growth, and there is no movement, right? And then next is respiration. It is a process by which food is burned in cells of the body with the help of oxygen to release energy. So as we know that if we don't respire, that means oxygen is very important for our growth, or in other words, for our energy. If there is no oxygen, that means the food is not burnt properly. If there is no burnt of food, that means no oxygen supply, and that means no energy release. Another thing is transportation. It is a process by which food, oxygen, water, waste products are carried from one part of the body to another. That's what very important. Even not a good thing, even the waste also need to be transported. Even food, water, oxygen, not only that, even the waste product also need to carry it out from our body. So that we need transportation. The next thing is excretion. Excretion is a process by which waste products are removed from the body. So these are the main life processes that we are going to learn in this chapter. This is an outline of what we are going to learn from this chapter. Okay, let's move on to a next thing. Nutrition. First of all, we should know what is nutrition. So nutrition, that means if even the living organisms, even it may be a small one, unicellular or a multicellular. You know what is unicellular? Unicellular are the organism which they have only one cell, and with the help of only one cell they perform all the actions, even starting from respiration or digestion or reproduction. Everything they do by using only one cell. That is unicellular organism. What are multicellular? Like human beings, and we have many cells in our body. So to do any proper function, we need nutrition. So if there is no nutrition, even to sleep also we need some energy. So to do that, even sleeping properly, we need some food. So if there is no food, even we could not sleep. So to maintain the life processes will be needed to prevent the damage, breakdown. You can see this definition. It is the process of taking food by an organism and its utilization by the body to build the body for growth, to repair damaged part of the body, and for energy. So all the things we need nutrition. So that's what we are going to learn. Mainly, life on earth depends on carbon-based molecules. If you see everything, whatever the living organism which you are looking at, everything are made up of carbon. So the life on earth depends on carbon-based molecules. Most of these food sources are also carbon-based. Depending on the complexity of these carbon sources, different organisms can then use different kinds of nutritional process. So the outside raw material used by living organisms are food, water, and air. Okay, mode of nutrition. What are the different mode of nutrition we are going to learn? So as we see that there are two different mode of nutrition. One is autotrophic mode of nutrition, another is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. What are autotrophic? It is organisms prepare their own food from simple inorganic substances like carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight. That means there is no need for any external living organisms. So only there is a simple inorganic substances, non-living substances like carbon dioxide gas, water and sunlight. So that means they prepare their own food. And which are these and to prepare their own food? For example, all green plants. What are the green plants? You can see everything they prepare their own food. And some bacteria also prepare their own food. They are also autotrophics. And these two topics maybe you have learned in a smaller classes. Okay, this would be just a overview, and also it is helpful for you to recap the topic again. Heterotrophic organisms get their food directly or indirectly from plants. So that is also heterotrophic. That means they are not preparing their own food, but they depends on plants. Like humans, for example, all animals, fungi and some bacteria are all heterotrophics. Okay, first of all, we are going to learn what are the nutritions in plants. Okay, let's learn. The main thing which the plants can prepare their own food is by the process called photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? It is a process by which plants prepare food by using carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. The food prepared is carbohydrate, which is stored in the form of starch. Oxygen is released in this process. So it's main important definition, and all the students, please go through this and read this definition properly, and also this equation. Carbon dioxide and water molecules in presence of sunlight with the help of chlorophyll, and you see this glucose molecules are getting. This glucose is nothing but the carbohydrate, and in other words starch. What are the process of photosynthesis? Let's see the process. What are the different process you can see it on this photosynthesis, and what is very important for photosynthesis? As we look at properly or carefully in this, absorption of light energy by chlorophyll. You can see this in your book also, page number 96. Absorption of sunlight by chlorophyll. The second thing is conversion of light energy into chemical energy and splitting up water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. So that is what you can see in the equation, right? Conversion of sunlight into a chemical process, and we are getting oxygen is one of the very important product, right? And this oxygen only we are taking inside our body. Next thing is reduction of carbon dioxide by hydrogen to form carbohydrate, and this is what the starch and the food which is prepared by the plants. Okay, if you look at this process, these steps need not take place one after the other immediately. For example, desert plants take up carbon dioxide at night and prepare an intermediate which is acted upon by the energy absorbed by chlorophyll during the day. So you can see some plants you can see in the desert. What they do, they take up carbon dioxide at night time. So this process of absorbing carbon dioxide in the daytime is not always the same. The steps you can't see this always. The next thing is we're going to learn on chlorophyll. What is chlorophyll? You can see a picture which is given on page number 96, figure 6.1. It talks about the cross section of a leaf. Now this is a leaf, and you see there are two things. This is the upper epidermis, the upper part of the leaf, and this is the lower part of the leaves. And you see there are some air space also present in that, and you can see the main thing here is the green patches everywhere, and this is what the chlorophyll, right? And chlorophylls are all green in color, right? So if you watch carefully or observe the cross section, you can see here, even you can watch it through microscope, you notice some of these cells contain green dots, and these green dots are cells, organelles, or chloroplast, and what they contain? They contain chlorophyll. So the green pigments present in the leaves are called chlorophylls. Okay, let us do an you can see an activity here in page number 96.6.1. Please go through this activity and read this activity carefully, so you learn and how this photosynthesis or chlorophyll works on it. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, stomata. This is another very important question, and this stomata based question is one of the very important question came this year, 2020 10th standard board examination. So it's very important, so you should know what is stomata. Stomata is, you can see, this is a small pores which is present on the surface of the leaves. The tiny pores are present on the surface of the leaf. Massive amount of gases exchanges takes place in leaves through these pores, right, for the purpose of photosynthesis. If you watch carefully, there are tiny pores present in the leaves through which exchange of gases takes place. The main thing. So again, each stoma had a pair of guard cell. So you see this is stomata, and this stomata is consist of a guard cell, a pair of guard cell, which control the opening and closing of stomatal pore. And what they do, when water enters the guard cell, it swells and the pores open. When the water enters the guard cell, so this absorb the water and it's swollen up, and automatically it opens. So when it opens, then the gases can go inside and also they can come out. And when the guard cell loses water, it shrinks like that and the pores closes. And this is one of the very important thing. Through this only photosynthesis takes place. The opening and closing of the pores functions are function of the guard cell, right? So plant closes these pores when it does not need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. Okay, and today we are going to learn up to this, and we are going to see an activity in page number 96, and this activity is given in a URL. You can click this URL and you can copy this, and you can watch a activity here. There's a good activity which is given in this URL. You can click and you can watch a video on it, and then what you do, watch this activity, and you are going to conclude from this activity. Okay, and I hope you all understand this, student. And today we have done from page number 93 to page number 97, right? And there are some questions are also which is given on page number 95, and read that question carefully and try to find the answer for that. And if you don't understand that question, then we'll do it in the class, in the next class. But I'm going to read that question. Why is diffusion insufficient to meet the oxygen requirement of multicellular organism like this, like us? What criteria do we use to decide whether something is alive? So this we know that. What are outside raw material used for by an organism, right? What processes would you consider essential for maintaining life? So try to find the answers for these questions which is given in page number 95, and go through this video, and if you have any doubt on this, please ask questions in the next class. And we'll see the remaining portion from page number 98, that means heterotrophic nutritions or nutrition in human beings and amoeba, and in the next class. Thank you, student. Have a nice day.